turning a generator motor into a garden tractor or go-kart motor, you're going to need to put a throttle on it. So these here had just a lever, basically wide open. Actually, I think it was just wide open or off. So I had to change all that. So I ripped out all the springs that I thought I didn't need. So after doing that, I got it to at least, come back. I think I got it to come back. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so now it's wide open and then off. Back to an idle. So that's where I got that at. I'm not sure how it was before, because Lonnie had some stuff on here for his garden tractor. But I have to come over the top here with this cable and somehow figure that out. So that's where I'm at. I picked up this from the hardware store. So the plan is, let me set it up and I'll show you what the plan is. So here's the plan for that. Now remember, this will be on the bottom side here, and then the spring will hook up to that hole, and it'll go underneath and hook up to this stuff. So the plan is to have this over here closer. Oh, my finger's in the way. Plan is to have this over here next to this nut. These nuts will be welded. This one will be floating, and I can screw it back and forth. Ooh, that's one way to lose the shit. And then I can adjust it to take the tension out of the spring to make sure it's, just that it's there. Not pulling on it, but just so there's no slack in it. And that's the plan there. Let's see how that turns out. My vice grips these two pieces together. And this part here will be my spring, or what I'll hook the spring to. So I'll get that cleaned up and start working on getting it back together. I'll throw this together and show you what it looks like. But then that spring will hook on this piece. So far the idea is working. And it's pulling it. What the hell is it hitting? Oop, hitting right there. Damn it. And maybe no, it's still going to hit it. Yep. Damn it. I'll have to clearance that. And I got to make a smaller spring, because the spring is hitting right there. It's hitting a lot of shit. If I can get a smaller spring on there, I'll run the ace and see if I get something a little tinier. Okay, clean this part up. Cut off the shit I don't need hanging all over the place. I took a drill bit, 3/16 drill bit, and I drilled out my two nuts. Well, that is weird doing that through the camera. So as you can see, that'll slide right through now. And once, obviously you can figure that out. Then once I put this piece on, this will be adjustable left and right. And then I just need to jam this somehow. So I gotta get I'll run back the ace. I haven't gone yet, but I'll run an ace, get another jam nut. And that way I can jam it and it can't move left and right as that pulls on it or vibrates. Or I'm gonna run an ace and see if I can find a spring. $1.39 later. It's the shortest one I could find. It's got a little, it's pretty flexible. So definitely the governor will be able to pull it back. So you can see how that's all working now. Pivots on that, how it all adjusts. Takes the tension out. So I just got a little bit of play in there before it pulls on it. And then yanks on it. So hopefully it's strong enough. I guess we'll find out. I can't run it. I did find an oil bracket on eBay that puts the filter to the center, which should be perfect. I don't know how much tension is on this throttle. I might put a little more tension on the return spring, which is this one, because that one is really weak. So I might take that one off and get something a little bit stronger from Ace to make sure that throttle comes back. So that's where I'm at on this right now. So it's turning out pretty good. I just took a belt sander and clearanced that bolt that was hitting before. Let me show you. So remember that bolt head here was hitting on there. So I took a belt sander and she's clearanced. So that's fixed. Well, that was a setback. Back at the garden tractor again. Furnace was freaking out. It wasn't working. I'm like, what the hell now? And then the lights all went out. I'm like, what the hell now? Randy got 2 new 3-way switches. Replaced them. Lights work. $10 later. Furnace, gave it a blow job. It was happy as hell. It running again. Back to this thing. So I just drilled and tapped this out, except this. So that's going to hold the cable there. I am going to take my cutting wheel and I'm going to cut a real small little notch in there so it holds that cable even better. Not that I have to, but I'm going to. So that takes care of that. Now I need to get something on here to swivel so when it pulls, that it can swivel and pull at the same time. Or else it's going to wear on my cable and break it. What I'm going to do for that yet, I have no idea. I got a cable clamp here. So I thought about drilling that side out and then running a bolt into it just to the top of that head, the threads there, or top of it. I can't even talk. Right where the cable goes through, I'd run right to there. I'm gonna go try that first. Eating my popcorn. Here's my pile of parts. I'll throw them on. So I took this piece, I tapped out the bottom to 8/32, and I'll show you in a second here. There we go. Oh, just a half a hole showing. So I think I'm just going to add 1 washer to that. I already cut it once, and looks like I got to cut it again. All right, there we go. I put that washer in. Now it's low enough, I believe. Yep, I can see through it. So now I'm going to put some Loctite on this so it can't back off, and we'll be good. And that should complete that, and that's what that looks like. Now we need to figure out this half and finish it. Okay, I was looking at this. They give you these bolts for this, and they're fully threaded all the way through. Well, what happens if you keep wearing that aluminum on threads? Well, it's going to chew that aluminum up. So I grabbed a 1/4 inch with a head on it, and now I got to drill these out to 1/4 inch because I don't know what size this is, but it's metric. So I'll drill these 4 out to 1/4 inch and see what happens. Okay, I took the die and I ran that down to make more threads. You see it went from there all the way to there. And here we go. Spend some time later trying to figure out how I wanted to run the cable. I ran the cable, this is the way I like it, because I'll put a belt guard on here so the cable will never get hit by the belt. So I put this all here, which you saw, but when I test it, the pedal moves a long way to get it off that beginning of that cam. So I got a feeling I have to move this down the row here a little bit, and then maybe it'll be better. I don't know. Happy Sunday fun day. All right, you see where I left off was gas pedal in this. So the differences: stronger spring in the back. Okay. More return on this piece here for the throttle. I needed that. Once you have all this stuff here hooked up, it was dragging on it and it couldn't pull it back. So stronger one there. And I have another one for here I didn't put on, I see. So I need to find that spring that I put on here to help pull the cable back. And that takes care of that. What else? This is done. I ended up putting a hole through here. So, and then what I'll do is I'll just put a piece of rubber on here, like a fuel line, 1/4 inch fuel line or something, just to protect the cable here. And that is that. I almost didn't make it. I almost had to cut this off and re-weld it, but it made it. So see, hopefully I don't have to cut that off and redo it. Luckily I made this piece here, right there, that piece underneath there, right there. Luckily that's adjustable. Because let me tell you, I adjusted it. Alright, so right now I'm going to take this off. I'm going to cut that out, so that's done. So that sits in there better. And that pretty much should mock up the throttle. The throttle should be done. Everything works good. I got the play good. As you see, I moved a hole down here. I put an extra hole in there. That is so the gas pedal and throw are almost, I mean, look how far I moved that gas pedal for, you know, drivability, just, you know, so it ain't wide open or idling, you know. So that'll be good. I like that. All right, let's go get that cut off, grind it up, and that's mocked up. I filed this down right here so I get the exact angle towards this. Oh, don't think everything goes great. I made this stop here, but it's hitting a bolt here, so I got to go to plan 2. The idea was to run that in, put a nut on the other side, which hits the cable, so that was a double flop, and that was supposed to hit right there to stop it from going back so far. So you don't put so much pressure on the throttle once you're wide open. Plan B. If I'd have left this bolt out the way it was when it hit there, that would have been perfect. But what do? You don't know that. It's not the prettiest, but I got my other stud out. Not easy at all, but looks like hell right now, but I'll get that cleaned up and fixed. I got a new bolt cut right now, just polishing the end of it, and I'll get that welded in. There you have it. I got the stopper back in, fixed, ground down. It's got a little bitty pinhole in here from missing weld, but I ain't gonna worry about that. And you can see it wide open. It's just past full. Here's wide open on the tractor. Here's wide open on here. So that is perfect. So look at all the throttle swing I got. So that is really good. That's it for that. Now it's just a matter of fine-tuning everything and tightening it all up. Everything's just, you know, put together loosely because it's got to get blown apart again for paint. But that takes care of the throttle and the choke. And do I want to hook up a throttle that holds itself open? I don't know yet. I'll decide that right now. And I'm going to actually clean off the seat and get on it and see how the gas pedal works. And then I might put a hook on here so you can hook it with your shoe to pull it back in case something's wrong. And also, it took me a while to do this, but I trimmed this all out right there. See a little notch right there? Oop, I can't see through the camera. Right there, that little notch. I'm going to put a little E-clip on there so it can't back out. So there's 2 safeties there. Then if I got a hook on here, I can pull the throttle back, and that'll hopefully pull that all back in case there's an issue. Safety. That's what that amounts to. Extra work for safety. Again, so now I'm going to add the boot holder, like I said. And then with that boot holder, I'm going to incorporate another gas pedal for a smaller kid so they can drive it. Okay, got this heated up and bent for the heel. Let that cool down a little bit because she's a little warm. Woo! Smoking. Get that all buttoned up. Drilled and tapped it into the housing. So that'll keep that nice and snug and out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. If not, I can rotate them up. I'm hoping to use these 2 bolts for a belt guard. But it's hard to say on that. I'll see what happens. Then the other thing is the belt clearance to go through here. So that's why I ain't got nothing on here. I probably will once I get that done. And here you go in action. So mind you, I probably have 3 to 5 hours. I lost track, but I probably got 3 to 5 hours in reconverting all this to make this work nice. Just to give you an idea. But I like it. It's good. You can mark my foot and go from there. So I'll get that welded in, but I can't do it now because I got to get the cables all off. And I got that ready to run. And I can test that all before I blow it apart. So this piece can wait. I'll just, now I got to figure out how I'm going to mount the pedal to it. All right, let's see what I got going here. I used that stop I had, welded that on the bottom, drilled a hole in the deck, left it sort of loose so I can center it. Now my foot will move it where it needs to be with the heel, like so, and there we go. And we'll get that tightened up and welded in. That is welded on. Now to get the pedal on. Where's the pedal hiding in this mess? Here's the pedal. So somehow I got to figure out how to get this on and be able to take it on and off. Alright, we'll get her. Well, needless to say, everything was going good with the second gas pedal for a smaller kid. I had this welded on here for the pedal so I could just bolt it on, take it off, and it'll hook real fast and easy up for a kid. Well, I welded it and it's stuck inside the thing and broke off this pin. This is that thing that This is the used one off Ernie's tractor. It was 26 bucks. Well, I'm not buying another one for 26 bucks. So I went to Ace and bought like $6 worth of shit, and I'll show you that in a second. Well, let me tell you, that was a lot of work to make that little bugger. So I got this all fixed up. As I said, I went to Ace, and they got these parts here. Got them welded in. And then I bought 1/4-inch rod. So I can. Well, I got a hell of a mess going on the floor. Let me tell you. All right, I'm gonna get these. I was gonna put. I think I said it on video. I don't know, but anyways, I was gonna put adjustables on here. Well, by the time I would get done with them, they would probably be all said and done. I'd have $100 in them. So I am going to go to plan C, and I'm just going to notch the bottoms out and let them swing in. Okay, it's been a couple hours. So I cut, oh, where's my light? So I cut that little slot out right there. You see that where the part goes in right there? I cut that one out. Cut that one out a little more than the other one. What the hell? I'm gonna have to fix it so it looks even. And re-drilled up there. Same for that side. I transfer punched it. They are 5 inches from the floor. Made my bar going across. She's pretty heavy duty, but what the hell. So there, that's all done besides painting. Oh, I lied. It is not done. I still have to put a bracket on here for hanging weights off the wheelie bars so I can drop weights on there. Still got to do that. All right, the stereo is playing, so I got to hurry up. But I got this mounted. I'm going to weld the nuts on the back, and I had to use Allen head button heads so I had room for the wires to go through. So I need a push bar across the back, and I need some type of seat pan yet. And this can come off and get painted. Ooh, Sunday fun day is over. Everything swept up. I didn't get quite all this cleaned up, and not quite, well, I got a lot of that cleaned up. Doesn't look like it, but I did. But yeah, that's it for the Sunday fun day. Till the next night. Woohoo, Sunday fun day was one thing. Terrible Monday is another. As you can see, I took the pan off because it was rusting. I got to get a coat of primer on it now, even before it's ready. I did get the 2 nuts welded on, so that's done. And I'm cleaning it up right now. Welded this on a little bit better. And the rest is good enough. Cut that off, that adjuster, cut that off. Wire wheeled it, knocked some of the spatter off. I guess I shouldn't worry about it. It's on the bottom side. So now I'm going to get a coat of primer on her. Not exactly fun, but got most of the bottom painted. I got to weld on the bracket, so I didn't put paint here yet. I hope you can hear me. So I got to sand this area anyway to repaint it once I get the push bar on. Happy Tuesday night. Got this flipped over. I got it primed, except for where the bar is going to go. That's still raw, but you can see it. But yeah, got a good coat of primer on it, and it's ready to go for getting a push bar on it. Sometimes I like to just say hell with the push bar and be done, but I don't know. Kind of is what it is. I can't believe how dusty, dirty this thing is just from all the work on it. Can't really see it in the camera, but it is dirty. I'm going to finish this video up. It's getting kind of long, not bad, but time to wrap her up. So thanks for watching. Tune in. I'll get some more shit done. Until the next day.